ati'u Allah, ati'u Rasul wa ulil amri minkum. And always a reminder for myself, ana abdukal ajizu da'if wa miskeen wa zalim wa jahal. And but for the grace of Allah that we're still in existence, alhamdulillah. Allah inshaAllah open the holy month of Ramadan that as soon as they see the moon sighting, I think then Sunday will be the first night of Taraweeh according to their sightings, and then fasting for Monday and people following wherever their local schedule. But Allah granting for us an immense month of blessings. That the holy month of Ramadan, the month is a sultan, it represents the sultanate of the heavens, and the month in which Allah will dress the servants with the realities of Holy Qur'an. That Allah this dress and this blessing upon the servants can only be achieved by fasting, and that the first 10 days of Ramadan is a mercy. And because of that mercy people are even allowed and able to enter into the state of fasting. Without the rahmah of Allah fasting is very difficult because the nafs comes against that reality, and any time we try to do that level of worshipness the nafs will block it. But because Allah taught for us through the teachings of Sayyidina Muhammad that the first 10 days is a rahmah, and that rahmah, Bab al-Rahmah, when it begins to dress upon this creation and anyone making the intention to fast, Allah begins to chain the bad desires and chain their shaitans, and as a result that becomes an immense rahmah for the shaitan of their bad desires to be chained, and that the nafs is given an understanding that the servant has intended to enter into this siyam, and that to work with the servant not to cause a difficulty for itself. It's an immense mercy, immense dress and immense blessing. It's a month in which Allah wants to grant the rewards of Rajab and the rewards of Sha'ban. That whatever Prophet is in a continuous miraj to the Divine Presence, that the ashiqeen whom are in a miraj into the heart of Sayyidina Muhammad which is the qalb, which is the qul of the qaf and qaf al-Qur'an al-Majid through the holy tongue, and it is the centre of the power of the oceans of power. As-salamu alaykum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. This is Shaykh Nurjan. Thank you for watching the video that you're watching. InshaAllah if you're happy with the content and happy with these programs, please support the button below, the programs that we have for our orphanage repairs, our water well, Give the Gift of Life, our mobile food vans. We have now 5 vans, Vancouver, Chicago, Los Angeles, Pakistan. There's many programs that reach thousands of people and rescue foods and give those supplies to people in need. Your support is greatly appreciated. Also be so kind as to leave loving comments, and please share the stream, every bit counts. As-salamu alaykum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Known as a qalb, and that qalb is the heart and the centre of the soul of Sayyidina Muhammad in which Allah making reference to this Divine reality, I'm neither in the heavens or on earth but I'm in the qalb of my servant. And that has an immensely deep reality that we described in the month of Sha'ban, that Allah and Prophet teaching for us that if we just contemplate how much men respect what they built, and we can see the danger of egoism and the nafs is how much men respect what they build, and they have the audacity to think that from what they built is holy, and from what they built they respect one another. Oh, you built that for Allah? Yes, I built that. Oh, you built that? Yeah, I built that. Oh, and you built that for Allah? Yeah, I built that. And because of that they respect each other. but that which Allah built they don't respect. So we see that what do people really worship? For if people truly loved Allah, worshipped Allah, they would not seek the structures and the buildings that men make, but they would seek that reality within the creation in which Allah makes. And they would seek its reality and they would seek their Lord in that which Allah made, fashioned with His two hands, means His qudrah and power, and blew into it of His Divinely Spirit and realities, light and qudrah. Then that would be somebody whom truly loves Allah. And this is the state of all awliya and their teachings, their qassaid, their poetries. It was like a rhyme for people to figure. Because, O men whom you like each other, you so pleased by your power, your authority, and you respect one another because of the structures that you built. But that which Allah built they don't respect. That which Allah built and blessed and made to be holy, they come against, derogatory, angry, vulgar. And in Imam Husain's case and holy companions' case, they killed them. They killed and destroyed the real masjids of Allah. Not only the structures that men built and they cry over when the bricks come tumbling down, but the structures in which Allah built. I built these holy hearts, I fortified it with my light and with my ishq and with my love, and I put within it the presence and the love of Sayyidina Muhammad. And when Allah describes, وَلَقَدْ كَرَمْنَا بَنِي Adam, that we have honoured the children and the reality of Adam and Eve because Allah created that as the Khalifa, put within that Nurul Muhammadi in which that light and that reality was shined, its knowledges would illuminate the universes. And yet men overlook that which Allah built and they're so happy with what they built. And they emphasize that which they built, very holy, come to it. And they take a aggression and rudeness against the true houses of Allah and the true masjids of Allah which are His servants, those in which He built and created and those in which He illuminated their hearts with realities and the ishq and the love of Sayyidina Muhammad. Means if people contemplate and truly understand how holy this creation is that Allah created, and everything that Allah created with love and fashioned it with love, how to respect it and honour it and give it its appropriate respect because Allah has created it. But we enter into a time where men respect only that which they make and not truly that which Allah made. And that's the sadness of a darkened heart, a blind heart. They fast but they only feel hunger, and they don't fast with all of their character and all of their senses, and they remain blind with their ears and with their eyes, with their hands and with their feet. They enter into Ramadan and they're just hungry, and they enter into masjids and they're just tired and bored and checking their phone. Means everything became an external event when in reality it's secret held in an internal event. That when we rush to the masjid of Allah which is the qalb al-mu'min Baytullah, that they busy themselves cleaning their hearts and making sure that no haram enters their heart, no hatred and rancor and disrespect enter their hearts, because they want the light of Allah and the presence of Sayyidina Muhammad. If you come across someone thinking they have a heart that's like a masjid, but they speak very vile, they spread lies and gossips and rumours, and that's why we tell people try not to go places, because most people are sick nowadays, that they think they have a heart like a masjid, and they even think that their masjid has a heart. And this whole training and teaching is to give people the understanding that it's all based on character. If you're trying to make your heart a masjid for Allah, then it has to be based on good character. We try our best to have good character, we try our best not to bring hatred and malice with a bad intention within our heart, because then we just spread the bad intention and the bad character, and that's no longer a masjid of Allah, it becomes the house of shaitan and shayateen. This way of tafakkur is a constant checking of oneself, and we see the people whom don't appreciate tafakkur, don't practice their way of tafakkur, they're not cleaning the house, they're not preparing their heart to be a place of worship for themselves with their Lord. That everyone whom cleans their heart, washes their heart and begs and cries for Allah not to allow shaitan to enter into their hearts become sincere. As a result of the sincerity within their heart, they begin to make like a masjid of Allah, that Allah's love occupies their heart, and that love is the presence and the light of Sayyidina Muhammad, and their hearts are in continuous salawat on Sayyidina Muhammad because it is the dhikr of Allah. And Allah's dhikr in His house has to be within the heart, otherwise how can your masjid not be in the dhikr of Allah? And then those are the verses of Qur'an in which, my homes they don't mention me, Allah's name is not mentioned within the home. And Allah doesn't allow His name to be mentioned in their heart. Means the ones whom are ghafil and forgetful of their dhikr, their salawat, the love of Prophet, as if Allah has sealed them from the ability to remember Him in their home, in their heart, in their masjid. Means everything Allah has given to us is a gift and a responsibility. That if Allah gives to us the tariqah, and we're listening now to this broadcast and we'll listen to it later on a rebroadcast at a different time, it's a sign that Allah has given to us an opportunity to rise, an opportunity to learn, and an opportunity to worship Allah in the true house and in the true masjid of Allah, not in the structures that men built and that they find pride and arrogance and bad character. Those we can visit for entertainment purposes, but to worship Allah within the true masjid, within the heart of the servant. Many people don't want to close their eyes to contemplate because they don't like what they find within themselves and their character. An abode of complaints, an abode of mischief, abode of all sorts of surprises like a carnival. But those whom busy themselves, purifying themselves, cleaning themselves, asking for istighfar, making durood al-sharif, constantly and analysing their heart and their condition and what they said and what they did for the day, their hearts become a masjid for Allah, in which they easily run within their heart and they enter into their heart and they make their salah within their heart. They do all of the movements, but the reality of their salah is a mirage into their heart and into the Divine Presence and the presence of Sayyidina Muhammad. This is the reality and the abode of what we're asking to be open for the holy month of Ramadan. that Alif Lam Mim ذَلِكَ الْكِتَابُ لَا رَيْبَ فِيهِ هُدًى الْمُتَّقِينَ means the immensity of the Qur'an that's opening, and we're asking from the secrets of Holy Qur'an. From A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajeem, Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Surat Al-Fatiha and all its oceans of reality, and then coming to Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim, Alif Lam Mim ذَلِكَ الْكِتَابُ لَا رَيْبَ فِيهِ. That verily that this kitab, and we've described now so many years, the kitab of Allah is Sayyidina Muhammad. La rayba fi, there is no crookedness in this reality of Prophet, the walking book of Allah. You have tablets that has Qur'an, you have mobile phones that have Qur'an, and you think Allah just has paper and that you have the technology and Allah has no technology. Allah's greatest technology was all of this was encrypted on the soul of Sayyidina Muhammad at the moment that Allah wanted to be known. Allah has encrypted all the ulum and all the knowledges and all the reality upon the light and the reality of Sayyidina Muhammad. Our life is to enter into the holy heart and retrieve its secrets. As a result of these immense gifts and immense realities and immense blessings, this is the lights of Holy Qur'an emanating. Those whom they do their qiyam al-layl is a time for them to take from the qudra and the power of their 20 rakats while they're meditating in that salah. And when they do separately the reading of Holy Qur'an, because they're not combined for non-Arab. That when you don't know Arabic and you want to sit for 4 hours not understanding what's being recited, that was not the qiyam al-layl. The qiyam al-layl is the way of tafakkur that Allah gave to Prophet at least your nation for this 30 days. Once in this year, at least this month, let them also have an opportunity for spiritual growth. And it's the month in which the whole nation should enter into their seclusion. That for 30 days the fasting will slow their life, and as a result of slowing, the chaining of their devils will lead them to have a gracious and generous heart. And as a result of their fasting they begin to read and meditate and pray. Each of them have an immense reality that in this Ramadan we pray that when we make our salat al-tarawih, whether you're in jama'ah or not in jama'ah, it doesn't matter, that you pray your 20 rakahs with Surat al-Ikhlas. You can do 2 verse 2 Surat al-Ikhlas in the first rakah and 1 Surat al-Ikhlas in the second rakah, and every 3 Surat al-Ikhlas is the reward of an entire khatam al-Qur'an, that the entire Qur'an will be dressed upon that servant. And you recite that 20 rakah in that fashion while you're meditating in a nice beatific and fragrant space, and asking Allah subhanahu man dhu qudrati wal baqa, that grant me from your oceans of power, which is the tajalli of the month of Ramadan, that grant me from these oceans of power, this eternal ocean of power that's emanating from the heart of Sayyidina Muhammad. That's why all this training up to this time is that asking us to be in this madad of the shaykhs, to be with our shaykh and in the present and in the heart of Sayyidina Muhammad. And that I don't want to do my actions for myself, I'm asking to be nothing. And Rumi has poetries that inshaAllah we'll bring out, is in Farsi we say bi khud, that you're with yourself and every badness comes and you find offence in everything. If you enter a state of bi khud, that you lose yourself, and this was the realities of muraqabah. I don't want to do it with me, I already know all my badness, why I want to make my salah with myself. I'm asking to be nothing, And in my nothingness I'm asking for the madad of my shaykhs and their madad all the way into the presence of Sayyidina Muhammad, Ya Rabbi. And that all the haqqaiq and all the realities of Holy Qur'an, subhana man qudrati wal baqa, that every power and energy is coming from the heart of Prophet, return me to my origin, Ya Rabbi. And when I make my salah, making myself like a state of death, entering into that ocean of power and asking to be dressed by that ocean of power. That becomes the qiyam al-layl, in which they spend their night trying to take from these immense oceans of power. Then throughout the day, or if they have time at night, they sit and read Qur'an in their own language. You don't impress anybody by reading Arabic when you don't know Arabic. You help shaitan to keep you ignorant. Mawlana Shaykh described, even you open the Qur'an will dress you. Its huruf and its malaika will dress the heart of the servant. Even you can run your fingers over the Arabic to take its barakah, its blessing, its dressing and kiss the Arabic. But for the servant to achieve the realities and the ulum of the Holy Qur'an, then read in the language that Allah has given to you. And as a result of reading, we read with the state of contemplation in which we slowly read and illuminate the heart, illuminate the energies and the powers. And when we come across certain words and we want to see what that word means, we go back to the Arabic, to the transliteration, and that becomes then a beatific relationship in which the Qur'an is reading the servant and the Qur'an is illuminating the servant with knowledges. This becomes the immensity of Ramadan, in which we trying to take from the energies of the salah, the realities and the ulum and the knowledges of Qur'an. And then Allah given to us hudan al-muttaqeen, that if you want from the reality of alif, lam, mim, because alif izzatullah, this is the whole unfolding of all knowledges. Why is it at the beginning of the Qur'an? Is that Allah is giving an encryption code that if you want from alif, lam, mim, if you want from the reality of izzatullah, that la ilaha illallah is alif, and that alif Allah's might and majesty resides within that reality, and that Allah is a hidden treasure wanting to be known and became known through the lam. This lam will speak for all of eternity about the alif. And then Allah further describes, then the description of this lam is mim and stands for Muhammadun Rasulullah. As a result, this is the unfolding of all knowledges. ذَلِكَ الْكِتَابِ, and Allah swears by this huruf, by its codes and its encryptions, that this book of mine there is no crookedness. Others everything crooked and none know it, but hudan al-muttaqeen, it's a guidance for muttaqeen. And the muttaqeen come into our life and teach us, if you want to be muttaqeen then all your five senses must enter into Ramadan. You don't enter to Ramadan looking at every type of horrific image, people, things that are not supposed to be looked at. You don't enter into Ramadan by listening to everything inappropriate, but yet your tongue and your stomach are fasting. You don't enter into Ramadan with the indulgence of your senses and your feelings. Means every sense that Allah gave to us for the muttaqeen came into our life and said that, fast with your hearing. As soon as you begin and you call the azan for Taraweeh and that Ramadan has begun, make intention that, Ya Rabbi, all my senses are fasting. Grant me a strength not to break my siyam. that let my ears to fast and hear only good, play salawats, play Qur'an, play the continuous remembrance of Allah. Find the playlist on SoundCloud that we have thousands and thousands of tracks. Nobody has an excuse, it's streaming onto SoundCloud. And immediately, Ya Rabbi, let my ears to fast. And as a result of fasting, Allah destroy the satanic energies and bring back the Rahman in all of its realities. And grant my eyes to fast, and as a result I try my best to keep my eyes to be clean from images. Although images are coming in immense speeds onto people, they try their best to keep their eyes to be clean. And even when they wash and they shower and asking their soul to wash away all negativities and all badness that trying to enter from their eyes and into their heart. Just like a servant trying to fast but yet sitting next to cigarette smoke. As you're fasting you're contaminating. So the muttaqeen come to our lives and remind us that all your senses have to fast. That make sure your rizq and your hands are halal. Don't type inappropriate things, don't go to inappropriate places with those hands. Means every sense to enter into the Ramadan, and as a result then they are imitating the way of muttaqeen. And what Allah has promised for them, then this Qur'an is a guidance for you. That we ask Allah to dress us, to bless us so that the clean ears, clean eyes, clean breath, clean hands, clean qadam and path is asking for this cleanliness to enter into the heart of Sayyidina Muhammad. And that's why the khuluq and the character. Prophet said, "Oh what tariqah are you? I'm this tariqah, this tariqah, this tariqah." But you're hoodlum and you talk like a crook, you talk like a pirate. You act like a pirate and a crook and a bank thief. That for the heart of Sayyidina Muhammad everything must be clean, everything must be sincere, everything must be pure. And everyone should know themselves, and if they're not they should know they're not in the heart of Sayyidina Muhammad. That they make wudu to enter the masjid and they overly clear their throat as if they're going to cough their brains out to enter into the buildings that men made. What washing do you do for entering the masjid that Allah made? That when you're going to enter into your heart and you're going to ask to enter into the presence of Prophet, is clearing your throat important and bringing all your mucus out until you practically vomit, or the cleaning of your heart is important? Ya Rabbi, I washed the outside donkey no problem, but I've been busy trying to clean my heart. And I want to be clean with my ears, clean with my eyes, clean with my breath, clean with my hands, clean with my feet. And I'm asking to enter into the presence of Sayyidina Muhammad. And Ya Sayyid Ya Rasul Kareem, have pity upon my soul and grant me your audience, grant me to enter into your qalb with Nabiyeen, Siddiqeen, Shuhada'i wa Saliheen, and that Allah is with them. That we want to be near Allah and Allah is with Nabiyeen, Siddiqeen, Shuhada'i wa Saliheen. And only then we really entered into Ramadan, that we entered into a state to reach the realities of the muttaqeen, in which Allah is encoding the beginning of Qur'an for them. That if you didn't understand beyond that point, it's just a book of right and wrong. You couldn't even unlock the first encryption. We pray that Allah give us a greater understanding and allow us to enter in the holy month of Ramadan with all of our character, all of our senses and all of our good character, inshaAllah. Subhana rabbika rabbil izzati amma yasifoon wa salaamun al mursaleen walhamdulillahi rabbil alameen. Bi hurmati Muhammad al-Mustafa wa bi siri Surat al-Fatiha. Ya Rasul Kareem. As-salamu alaykum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. This is Shaykh Nurjan. Thank you for watching the video that you're watching. Inshallah, if you're happy with the content and happy with these programs, please support the button below, the programs that we have for our orphanage repairs, our water well, Give the Gift of Life, our mobile food vans. We have now 5 vans: Vancouver, Chicago, Los Angeles, Pakistan. There's many programs that reach thousands of people and rescue foods and give those supplies to people in need. Your support is greatly appreciated. Also, be so kind as to leave loving comments and please share the stream. Every bit counts. As-salamu alaykum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.